Hi friends, welcome to another video here. I am Michelle.
And I am Stephanie, and we are Sunnyside Design. So as you know, we love DIY, anything home. We have been sharing projects and ideas through our homes for the last couple of years, and we just wanted to go on a little home tour today. So my home, you'll see in a couple of weeks. It's a new build, but I have gone through and shown how you can incorporate like designer details and upgrades into your home yourself for a fraction of the cost, making it custom and unique. And she will tell you about her home.
And mine is just the opposite. Not really, but mine was a very dated 90s home that we bought. And so we have been going through it the last couple of years and just making it current.
Making it theirs too.
And making it ours because it was ugly. We
Yeah,
we bought it for the lot. We have an amazing lot that is large and wooded, beautiful trees, animals coming through, deer that we love. But we could see the possibility of what this home could be with some major renovations. And so we've been working on those, and we want to just take you on a little tour today showing each room as it transformed. You'll see the beginning of what it looked like before when we moved in, the dated, the ugly, and how we actually took down walls and made a more open floor plan, relocated the kitchen, items like that, just to make it a space that worked for our family. So stay tuned and see the transformation of my home today.
And be sure to subscribe to our channel. We post new videos weekly, and we're always excited to share what we're working on and get new content out there. And make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, comment. We love hearing from you, and that also helps support our channel.
Clearly, taking on a home renovation is a major undertaking, not only with the scope of the work, but you have to consider the cost that goes into make a major home renovation. According to Home Advisor, a home renovation of a 2,500 square foot home can range anywhere from $15,000 to $200,000. And that is clearly a lot of money. And you want to make sure that your dollar can go as far as it can. Now, when we took on the renovation of our home, we carefully thought about what renovations needed to be done and how much of a budget we had, and proportioned all of that money out before we actually made the final decision to actually purchase the home. We wanted to know if we were going to have enough money to make it the way we wanted it before we started. First, you want to do your homework. You need to check pricing of the amount of square footage you have for your home and the pricing for replacing flooring, the paint, and other major renovations you're going to do. We knew that our home was going to require a major kitchen remodel. In fact, we planned on relocating the kitchen to the far end of the house. So with this in mind, we carefully planned out how much of the budget this would take. I realized that the majority of our budget was going to go towards the kitchen. And so with this in mind, I had to allow for a little give and take. I knew that I needed new cabinetry. The existing cabinetry in the home was not going to work. Not only was it dated, the kitchen was much smaller. And so I was going to need more cabinetry. And so I decided to look for appliances that were used. So I just went to the Facebook Marketplace and started searching for appliances, and I actually found things, items that were just a couple of years old, maybe had been scratched. Our stove, for instance, was a gas range double oven, and the handle on it was scratched. And so we replaced the handle for $100. I paid $400 for the range, which would have been well over $2,000 if I purchased it new. So I saved me thousands of dollars just with that appliance alone. Another great way to save money is to just DIY what you can. Luckily, my husband and myself love to do DIY projects. We love to get our hands dirty and tackle home improvement projects. However, you need to be prepared to ask for help or hire out jobs that you are not comfortable with. You can also enlist the help of friends and family. Have little work parties. Not only is it a great way to get the job done, but it also makes it a lot more fun. Let's begin the tour of our before and afters of our home renovation with the master bedroom. Now, the master bedroom was the first thing we did because I needed a clean spot I could retreat to during the renovation process. And so we actually completed the bedroom the week before we moved in, and we weren't doing anything fancy in there. We were just putting new paint, new flooring, some window coverings, and moved in our original furniture. So take a look at the before. You can see that the house was a sea of green carpeting, and the walls had a pink tint to them, so it was really a beautiful sight. So in the master bedroom, in fact, in all areas of the house, we replaced all of the molding. We put in a larger base molding and replaced all of the door casings as well. We painted the bedroom just a peaceful blue. I just really needed this to be a place of relaxation. I needed a place where I could retreat to when my whole house is torn apart and it was a mess. And so that's what I tried to create in this room. I painted the room. It was a slate blue. It's a very peaceful blue. We brought in our original furniture from our old home, just brought in all of the same pieces and replaced the flooring and painted the walls and added some drapery. Now we do have links below that you will find for tutorials on the draperies. I took a stock IKEA curtain, just a basic IKEA curtain, and embellished it a little bit with some ribbon and a bracelet of all things. And then the bed also was a DIY project that I had done several years ago, and that was a consignment store find. And I decided to add an upholstered, besides stripping down the furniture and refinishing it, I also added the upholstered headboard to that piece. While we're at this end of the house, I'd like to share the master bathroom renovation, and that was just completed this last year. Now, I had put that one off. We had done all these other renovations in the house, but I knew that the master bedroom, I wanted a major overhaul, or excuse me, the master bathroom, I wanted a major overhaul. It's not a small space, and it's got a large walk-in shower. It had a large vanity, but it only had one sink in it, and I wanted to make room for a soaking tub. So let's take a peek at what this bathroom looked like before. It had white tile, 90s tile, think everything was white. It had green grout to match that green carpeting, and it had a nice big vanity, but I didn't care for the yellow of the maple cabinetry. Large plate glass window, or mirror I mean, and it was just sterile, not very pretty. So to update this, we did this on a very small budget, less than $1,000, because I still am planning on that major renovation for this room. And so let me just tell you what we did to kind of bring it into this century. So first of all, we added a second sink. It only had one sink at the far right side of the vanity, which made it so difficult for both my husband and myself to use at the same time. So we added the second sink. It already had the plumbing roughed in already. So we just had to add the sink and the fixture, the faucet. But what we did is we raised the bathroom vanity cabinet with a piece of wood. We created a new countertop out of a concrete, the feather finish concrete. We painted the wall black to kind of give it a little pop. Brought in some new mirrors, some new lighting, and the floor was a simple DIY with vinyl decals. And yes, it looks just like tile, and it has held up great. It's been 1 year since we installed it, and it still looks great. Anyway, so that was a major renovation for us, even though it made a major impact on the change of the way the bathroom felt for a very small budget. The first year of our renovation was really the focus of the kitchen and the main living area, as well as the bedrooms. Um, the kitchen, we knew we needed to relocate it. It wasn't going to work in its original spot. So let's just take a look at where we ended up moving the kitchen to. So at the far end of our house, we had a very small den area with a fireplace and some built-in bookcases. The original kitchen was very small. It had very little cabinetry and counter space. And so that was the main reason I wanted to move it, so that we could relocate it, so that we could have more space in the kitchen. You can see here what we've taken down the wall where the kitchen was. There's a ladder right there, right where the wall was. And that was separating the formal dining from the kitchen. And then there was another dining area and then that den at the very far end. And what we did is we put the kitchen down at the far end. We were able to create, I think, a really pretty vent hood centered between the two windows. We brought in all new cabinetry. And a little tip on your cabinetry is I originally thought I would just do it on a budget. I would go to the big box home improvement store, choose my cabinets that way. And I got my bid from them, and I was shocked at the price. I thought, oh my gosh, there's no way. That is more. That was like 75–80% of my budget for the entire house was on their cabinetry. And I just thought, there's no way we can do this. What am I going to do? And I ended up going to a local cabinet shop right here that makes custom cabinetry. And they were able to do my custom cabinetry for less than half of the cost of the big box store. So look around, find ways that you can save money, get lots of different bids, and move forward with that. Now, the cabinet company installed the cabinetry for us, so we did not need to DIY it. But we did do the flooring, the paint, the plumbing, the electrical. We did do all of that ourselves. And we were able to create a very functional kitchen that with a large island that is perfect for entertaining. We were able to create the microwave is in the island and a trash pull-out bin is in the island. We've made some open shelving. It's just a great spot to cook and entertain. And then right off of that is our dining area. So we only have one dining area now instead of two in our home, but this works out perfectly. My table expands in this spot and I can seat 12 people there in our dining room as well. The next area that we renovated, which was actually mostly at the same time, we did want to get that kitchen in first because living without a kitchen for several weeks, in fact, I believe it was 6 to 7 weeks we were without a kitchen. So I'll have to share some tips of how we managed to do that, living without a kitchen. But we were anxious to get the kitchen in first. And so once that was in, we could really focus our energy on the rest of that great room, opening it up. There's a photo now of the kitchen, what the original kitchen looked like. So we took out all the cabinetry, we took down the wall that separated the formal dining from the kitchen, and we created a one long space here. And part of this renovation included adding the fireplace. We took the fireplace out when we installed the kitchen at the far end of the house. So we installed a fireplace at this end of the house and then did some built-in bookcases and the mantle surround. We did all of that ourselves. That was one of our major renovations. We've got a DIY tutorial on how to build a surround and also on how to build the built-in bookcases. We also refinished the railing. I did not have it in my budget enough money to buy new railing, and I hated the dated maple railing that was originally in the house. And so what I did is I restained the maple section on the railing and the base and the newel post, and then I painted all of the spindles. You'll find a link in the description for the post on how to refinish a railing that will last. now we have a great spot for entertaining our family. It is large. We have room for a large sectional. We can seat about 20 people if we bring in some extra chairs in here, and have plenty of room for our entire family. We also created a family home gallery wall. I love to incorporate elements into my home that are meaningful and really showcase our family. And so I've collected these homes. Some of these homes date back to the 1800s, and they are heritage homes. One is from Ireland, which is just really a treat to see that home. And so I've created that area. The next area is the living room. Now this is right off of the entryway from the front door. And take a look at the before of this area. Once again, we've got the white tile and the green carpeting. Now, one thing that we did love about this home was the windows. Every room had really big windows, and the views are amazing out the front and out the back. In fact, it was the lot that sold us on the home, not the home. We could imagine what the home could be with a little bit of work, with a lot of work. But we knew that the yard was amazing. It sits on about about 2/3 of an acre, and it is wooded. We have deer and animals in the yard all the time, and it's just really a tranquil setting that we love. And so the big windows are a must. And so for this room, we just put in new flooring, new paint, window coverings, and once again, just brought in the existing furniture we had from our other home. We did, again, replace all of the molding to kind of bring it up to date. And then in the entryway, we did some changes here. There was a closet along the entryway wall, and there was a ledge. Like, I guess you would put decorations up there. And I just saw the ledge as a dust collector. So this is a part of the home that we actually hired some help here. We brought in a drywaller to patch up some of these areas that where we relocated items. So we had them take the wall straight up and lose the ledge. We moved that closet door around to the hallway. That closet backed up to another closet, and so we were able to reconfigure closets and just make the entryway a solid wall. And by doing that, it gave me room for my bookcase, which I needed a spot to place that. But we used that drywaller to, we patched up a window and put drywall over a window in the kitchen area, the former kitchen area. And so that was an area that my husband he hates to do. Let's just be really clear about it. He hates to do drywall. So we brought in some professionals to come in and do that. It took them 3 days. It was quick, and it wasn't even that much money. We only spent $900 on their services, and it was worth every penny. We also did bring in a painter to help with the ceilings. Some of our walls go up, and our ceiling height is 17 feet. And, painting a ceiling that high can really be a pain in the neck, a literal pain in the neck. And so we brought in some painters to help with that as well. So they did the highest parts of the ceilings and over my stairway, which I didn't want to even attempt to do that. Let's move on to the guest bedroom area. Now, originally, we weren't in any rush to do the guest bedroom, but as we moved into our home, I think we'd been in our home 3 months, and my daughter, Stephanie, who I do this business with, she informed me that they had just sold their home, and they were wondering if they could move in with us while they were looking for a new home or building a new home. And I thought, we're in a construction zone. What are you thinking? And she assured me that they would help us. And I said, but with 3 children, you're going to help? But anyway, they moved in. So we had to really quickly get 2 bedrooms fixed up so that they could move in and have a place for the kids to sleep. So we did do those bedrooms fairly quickly. So let's take a look at the guest bedroom before. And I don't think I've mentioned this, but this home was an estate sale, and it was the home of an elderly couple, and you can tell that by the finishings, the furnishings, well, not the furnishings, the finishes that they used. I had lace, grandma lace curtains over all of the windows, and that pink wall color and the green carpeting. That was in every single room of the house. And I wanted this to be a fun spot. This guest room is used 99% of the time by my grandkids. And so I wanted this to be fun and colorful. And so what we did in this room is we made a feature wall using chalkboard paint and put bright colorful frames on top of the chalkboard paint with pictures of the grandkids. I also painted the remainder of the walls a very light, peaceful blue color. We brought in those bright pops of yellow with the draperies and pillows on the daybed. And we wanted room for the kids to have room to play in this room as well. And so we used a daybed up against the wall, so it left an area for playing. We also brought in some storage shelves and some colorful bins for storing the toys for the kids to play with, and also a place for their books. We also brought in the black and white striped chair for reading books and just room to play. You'll also notice that the doors in my home are a very dark charcoal gray. And that was one element I wanted to add to our home, was creating a little bit of a higher end feel to the home. And so all of the doors in our home are painted this dark charcoal gray. The next bedroom that we worked on was actually the one that became my craft room and office. And so we're going to show it to you as an office. That was the master bedroom for Dan and Steph when they were living with us. But once they moved out, it became my craft room and my office. So let's take a look at what that looked like before. Once again, green carpeting and lace window coverings. The one good thing about this room is it did have a walk-in closet, and so that's why I wanted it to become my craft room and office. I needed lots of storage. So for this room, we brought in the wood floors. I didn't want carpeting in here since I was going to be crafting in here. I may spill. It's easy to keep clean. We painted the room the same soft blue that we used in the other bedroom. Did the white molding and brought in a black and white damask drapery and the plantation shutters. And in this room, we did lots of storage. I did some open shelving where I can keep supplies. I've hung supplies on the wall. I have got a counter height work surface that I like to work at with a stool. I often like to stand while I craft, and so I like to have an elevated space for me to work. I do have a sewing area, a small armoire where I keep more supplies, and it's just a great spot to work. Now this past year with COVID, we've actually turned this into a permanent office for my husband, and so he can shut the door, he can do his conference calls in here, and it has turned out to be the perfect home office at this time. If you're enjoying this tour of our home renovation, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Now, the next place that we renovated in our home renovation was the main bathroom, or the guest bathroom. Now, this one is my favorite area. It's kind of funny to have a bathroom as your favorite area of the home, but I used my absolute favorite color combination in here, and that is black and white. So let's take a look at what it looked like before. Pretty much looked like the master bathroom. We had maple cabinetry, white countertops, and a big plate glass mirror with a lot of lights. And in the tub area, it did have, by the way, this was a nice feature about this home, is it did have a pocket door separating the tub and shower from the vanity, which I did like that. So let me tell you how we saved money on renovating this bathroom. My initial plan was to just paint the cabinetry and the tiles were actually in really good shape. I just hated the pink and kind of aqua-y tiles that were in the shower. And you know, I've heard those colors are just coming back in style, but I did not like them, so out they went. And so my initial plan in this room is I took out the row of pink and green tiles, and I put in a row of penny tiles, and then I decided to try to remove all of the grout and regrout the tub. Now that was a mistake, and so we're not even going to show you the pictures of that mess. I ended up ripping out all of the tile and starting over. But what we did do is I had new doors and drawer fronts made for my bathroom vanity. It would have been a custom built vanity to fit in this spot, and that would get really pricey. And so for $300, I was able to replace all of those, and then I had them professionally sprayed so that they have a very nice finish to them. Got new hardware, got soft closing hinges, and put on a marble countertop, which gave it a little bit of a luxury feel in here, a luxurious feel. And that marble was actually a remnant that I found at a local stone shop. And so it was really inexpensive. So look around for remnants, whatever you can do to save money. We took down the plate glass mirror, and I brought in a vintage mirror that I found at a flea market. And I painted the pocket door that dark charcoal gray, and we brought in some fabulous pendant lights in here. We got rid of that big wall of lights, the vanity lights that were in there originally, shiplapped the wall, and then brought in these fun pendant black and white lights to kind of go with my theme of black and white. Now in the tub and toilet area of the bathroom, we totally replaced the tile. Now to do this on a budget, we used simple subway tile that was very inexpensive. We used a border tile and a white penny tile, and then grouted the whole thing with a dark charcoal grout. Now this gave us more of a designer look in here, but actually the tile itself was less than $200, and we did all of the labor ourselves. Now this isn't the first time we've tiled, it's the first time we've tiled a bathroom tub surround. And there are a couple of mistakes in here. You can't really see them, only I notice them and can point them out, and that's just where I got my pattern off a little bit in the corner. But other than that, I think it turned out really well. Tiling is a job you can do on your own. Start with a small project, but you literally save thousands of dollars. I'm always shocked when I get bids for clients at the amount that tilers charge to tile an area. And it really can save you thousands of dollars if that's something that you feel like you can take on and do yourself. The other thing we did in this bathroom was paint the ceilings black. And I have to tell you a funny little story. That was the first thing I did, was paint the ceilings black. And my grandson, who was 3 at the time, came in and he's like, "Grandma, your ceilings are black." And he was so concerned. And I said, "Yes, I know. I plan on them being black." And you know, my husband was a little worried about the whole black ceiling thing. And I had a plan. There was a method to my madness. By painting the ceiling black, it actually elevated the ceiling and made it feel higher. In this area of the house, our ceilings are only 8 feet. They're not the soaring 17-foot ceilings that we have in the living area. And so I really wanted it to feel a little more height in the bathroom. So painting them black did that. It elevated the ceilings. We also used the penny tile on the floor. We replaced the toilet and added some open shelving in there. Oh, one other thing we want to say about the bathroom is the shower curtain. I get lots of questions about the shower curtain. Where did I find it? Actually, I made it. It was some fabric that I had seen, I had fallen in love with, and I wanted to use it somewhere in my house. And why not a shower curtain? I just put a liner behind it. It's very simple to make. It's just 4 straight lines of sewing, and then I just made buttonholes, or you could use small grommets where the rings hook the shower curtain to the rod. Now let's move on to the exterior of our home. Now take a look at what our home looked like when we moved in. It was ugly. There's no way to get around it. It it needed some color. The brick was a color that I did not love, and the stucco was white, and the pop out on the stucco was white, and so you didn't see the pop out at all. It was overgrown. Remember, this home was an elderly couple. They had gotten older and couldn't take care of their home, and it had also in the front, there's those two weird pillars and a little bit of fencing right there, and there was a little circle of grass behind that. I didn't quite understand that at all. So we promptly took that out and worked on removing shrubs and cleaning up the yard. And you know, this wasn't as part of our budget or plan for the first year of our renovation, but as spring rolled around and then summer, we were embarrassed by the way our yard looked. You know, the rest of the neighborhood was beautiful and our yard was an eyesore. And so we started cleaning up the look of the front yard. We tore out all of the old overgrown shrubs and brought in new plants, new sprinkling system, tore down those pillars, and created a small little patio there, since we don't have a large front porch, that we could have a little seating area out front. And then we worked on the painting. Now, the painting didn't happen that first year. That came later on. We had too much to do inside before we could think of painting the house. Now, I really wanted to either paint the brick, lime wash the brick, German smear the brick, remove the brick, whatever I could do. I did not like the color at all. But my husband was dead set against it. And you know, to make for a happy life, a happy marriage, I decided to not fight him on this one. So my plan was to find a color that made the brick look better. And what I actually ended up using was that dark charcoal gray that I painted the interior of all of our doors. I used that as the pop out on all of the stucco pop out, and painted the main body of the house, the rest of the stucco. It was called Sculptor's Clay. That's a bare color, Sculptor's Clay. And it really warmed up the house and it made the brick look better. I also painted the front door, and then that little pop of blue, I thought that coordinated well with the brick. And made it look better. You know, I'm still not a fan of the brick color or the brick. I would have liked to have actually removed the brick and put some stone up there. But, you know, maybe someday that will happen. But for now, you know, I've got a happy husband, and I'm happy with the way it turned out too. I think it really improved the look of our home just by painting it and giving it some dimension by painting the pop out. Now, this was a major undertaking. We did this ourselves too, because have you hired a painter to paint the exterior of your house before? It was thousands of dollars. And I guess we're just cheap. We didn't want to spend the money. And so we did it ourselves. It took us several weeks working on it in the evenings and then Saturdays. But we did it ourselves. We saved us thousands of dollars. And I'm pleased with the way it turned out. The other thing we added to the outside of our home, we have a garden area on the west side of our house. And I mentioned before that we have deer coming into our home or our yard all the time. Well, they discovered that my vegetable garden was a great food source and I could not keep them out. I tried every trick that people use to keep the deer out of their garden and it did not work. So we decided to build a deer fence. Now the deer fence is 8 feet high and I didn't want it to look really ugly and massive because it is on the front of my house. And so we came up with this design. It's got the hog wire and we used the pressure treated lumber. And then we created an arbor along the top of it. And I am planning this spring to plant some wisteria across the top of there, creating a really beautiful spot across the front of our home. And yet it does a beautiful job at keeping the deer out. We had a very productive vegetable garden last year. One last area of our home renovation that I wanted to share with you is our backyard. We really wanted to create a beautiful outdoor living space where we could entertain and we could enjoy our beautiful lot. We have so many trees and birds and animals, and it's just a delight to be out there and just enjoy the beauties of nature. And take a look at what our backyard looked like when we moved in. It was overgrown with weeds and the shrubbery, and there was no spot to actually enjoy it. You can see that there were a few stairs going up the hill made out of broken cement, and that was pretty much it. There was a rock retaining wall, and we had about a 4-foot by 6-foot patio, big enough to you could set 2 chairs on, and that was it. And so our plan all along was to reclaim some of this space. And so what we did is we removed the little bit of patio that we did have, the 4x6 patio, and we brought in some heavy equipment here, a small little excavator, to start to dig out the hill. That worked for a little bit. We brought the extra dirt up to the top of the hill where we were creating another seating area and a fire pit, but in the process, the excavator rolled over, and that was the end of using the equipment for my husband. And so let me tell you what we did to make this work for us is we brought in family to help us, and we did it by hand, the rest of the excavating by hand. And you would think, oh my gosh, how could you dig out that much dirt? Let me tell you, with lots of hands and lots of buckets. We purchased a lot of buckets. I think we had 20 buckets. Everybody brought a shovel, and we started the digging process. And do you know that in less than 4 hours, we had all of the dirt dug out, moved up the hill. We used a pulley system to pull the dirt up the hill in the buckets, had some up on the top to dump the buckets, and some on the bottom to fill the buckets up with dirt. And can you believe within 4 hours we had the entire thing done without the stress of ruining heavy equipment that we had rented. We did install a paver patio, and we created a dining area just off of the kitchen that I will say during the warm summer months we use every single night. We come outside and we enjoy our dinner al fresco. This was one of our all-time favorite renovations to the house. We installed that rock wall ourselves as well, and we also added the stairs. The stairs were a Facebook Marketplace find, actually, or an online classifieds. One of the two. We found them here locally for sale, and we just took them and had them sanded down and powder coated so that we didn't have to worry about them rusting in the elements. And that gave us a nice stair system to get up to our second seating area up the hill. And we were able to create a seating area up there, a fire pit. In the process, we've added lighting, we've added a pathway that goes to our vegetable garden, just making our lot more usable, more family friendly. We've added some areas for the grandkids up on the hill, which they love to run around and play. We've got a tree swing, we've got a teeter-totter, and we've just recently installed a zip line for them. So can you imagine the fun they have flying through the trees on a zip line?
So what do you think? I love what they have done with their home. And would you have thought to relocate a kitchen? I mean, usually people just kind of think of the cosmetics and they change out cabinetry, but the way they've taken down the wall and moved the kitchen, it just really makes this floor plan so much better.
It does. And this house would have been a deal breaker for me if we could have not relocated the kitchen on a budget.
It was very small and choppy.
It really was. And because there was already plumbing at that end of the house, it really was not expensive to do it, to move it down there. So it just made the flow so much better in our home.
Yeah.
So are you planning a home renovation? We'd love to hear what your plans are, if you found this helpful, if you got some ideas from things we did in our home, or ways that we actually were able to save money by doing things ourselves.
Yeah, so we hope you liked this video and got some good ideas. Again, comment below. We love hearing from you. Subscribe to our channel and follow all of the links below for our social media. And as always,
links. Oh, I was gonna say one more thing. Sorry.
Okay.
Links for all these posts. We're gonna link you to all the posts of the actual projects that we worked on.
yeah, you can see firsthand tutorials,
How to do it. Yep.
for every step.
Everything. Yep.
So now
Now
as
you can
always
finish.
here at Sunnyside Design, we hope to bring your home to the sunny side of the street.